Going off Skype on my phone, you can see all the windows at once. And for
Yeah.
some reason, Skype is a picture of Connor's face, like, just blinking.
Okay, and with that, welcome back to the Pistol Podcast. I'm Tim, joined by Tom, and after a week's absence, we are back. We're back with a stellar album to go through. Spoilers.
With vengeance.
With a vengeance. It's time for Magdalene by FKA Twigs, who is British, which surprised both of us. We didn't know.
Well, I did know. I didn't know she was from Gloucestershire.
Oh, well.
Gloucestershire's finest.
Okay. So, without further ado, quick intro to it. Like, I think this album's a very unique experience. It may have been when I was listening to it that it affected me so much, but I haven't had a project affect me in such a way as the listening experience of Magdalene did for quite some time. The fragility of Twig's vocals, how they're frail yet fraught with emotion, and how at times they can also be vibrant and powerful, alive. It's really cool. The glitching of her vocals and the instrumental on Thousand Eyes conjures up feelings of entrapment and paranoia. The synth almost whimpering in this empty void space of an instrumental, save for the oppressive distorted drums, it really sets the tone well for the album. And it is quite a powerhouse of a project, if I do say so myself.
And the opening track forced me to do some digging, and I found out that she was engaged to
Rob Pattinson, wasn't it?
Yeah, the dude from Twilight.
And Good Time, and now the new Batman.
Yeah, Twilight. You'll never beat Twilight. And after having not one, not two, but 5 tumors in her uterus.
Yeah, I heard about that. And
quite a lot, I assume.
Yeah. But I mean, it was just how she just dealt with all that excruciating pain on a daily basis. She was a dancer, I think, before she was a singer. And she still dances, obviously. She's just
She's pole dances, yeah.
Yeah.
She was. I just watched the Zane Lowe interview, and she said she was a cabaret singer, as well as in jazz bands, and did opera. So those all come through here.
Yeah.
The Thousand Eyes is an interesting picture painting in your head. I think the idea of all the eyes is like the press.
Yeah, definitely
waking up because you're in a celebrity couple and now you're not. That's all the headlines.
I know.
But the almost a cappella style of the song was very interesting. It was essentially repeating the same lines over and over again.
Yeah.
The vocals got more passion as it went along. It was just a very, very harrowing experience.
I think harrowing sums it up perfectly. I think I couldn't put it better myself there. It's great. And that line
this song being so good makes the next song such a disappointment.
It's not.
Third single this honestly made me worry about this album because I heard this song and
What don't you like
vocal the thing is, I'm not going to pretend that the chorus isn't gorgeous.
Yeah.
But the instrumental is and the vocal manipulations are nothing short of horrendous.
I wouldn't go that.
Hard to listen to.
I will admit that the reason I like this song is purely because of the chorus and how
it's the catchiest bit on probably the whole album.
Oh yeah, her range as well is just exceptional, And
I think you sent me her Genius, or the clip from Genius, where she did this song. She's just such a good singer.
But yeah, so it's again, the chorus on "Home with You" is beautiful. We both agree on that, and that is especially contrasted against that bare and cold verse part with that thick, hot, oppressive bass. It just makes the chorus even more poignant. And if it exists to do that, then I think it has every right to exist. Although it isn't as catchy, but what if it is like that? It is kind of discordant and not nice to listen to make the chorus nicer to listen to. I feel that the fact that it's able to have that loneliness and acceptance and love and pain all in the space of 4 minutes makes it one of my favorite tracks. In fact, but I'm sure
I was a much bigger fan of every other song, but in particular the next song,
Sad
Day. It's because it was a sad day, apparently.
Yeah.
The piano was nice. Oh, sorry, I just wanted to say that Home of You is the only song that she produced by herself.
Okay.
Make of that what you will. Anyway, back to this.
You make of that.
Pardon?
I think I know what you make of that.
Maybe something maybe someone else might have said, "Hey, do you want to not shriek?" So hey ho.
Okay.
Sad day. What a moment.
What a true moment. What a mood as well.
This is like the day after a breakup, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Type of vibe.
It has.
Just setting the scene where she says, "Look outside your window. Everything's the same as before, but yet they're a bit more empty inside."
Mm.
The final a cappella verse was particularly moving for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the only sort of bit that I had to grow on me, because I liked everything else originally, but the weird Skrillex's drops were they didn't fit it that well at first, I thought, but they sort of grew on me.
I like the kind of more abstract, almost ambient at times. Those drops, I found them like uncomfortable, and I appreciated that. It kind of like contributes to that feeling of uneasiness and almost paranoia that it's that the album is trying to create at this point after a breakup, after that intimacy and that kind of emptiness void following it. And then when you meditate on it, there is that paranoia seeps in. I think it's really good for like kind of encapsulating that. And it still comes back to this beautiful chorus. The verse that I really liked had I've taken a few of the verses from Genius just because I really like her lyricism on it. But it was these 4 lines like well, I can imagine a world when my arms are embraced around you, while I'm naked and pure with intentions to cleanse you and take you. The city howls with a cry to seduce you and claim you. So it's time and it's a sad day for sure. It's crazy, man, how she personifies that city like that. I like it. I really like it. And it's a sad day.
But we go from like the first 3 tracks, the instrumentation has not really been that prominent. It's all been there and it's been interesting.
Yeah.
It's been
very subdued.
And it's been sort of letting Twigs be the star. Now this
Yeah.
song, in many ways, is the exact opposite, and I can sort of see why people hate this song. Holy Terrain. It is quite clearly trying to be a bit more of a pop crossover.
Yes, but
she brings in the producer big guns in the form of Skrillex did this one as well. Jack Antonoff on producing yet another song. Soundwave of TDE fame, and Kenny Beats, as well as herself. All had a part to play. And you can sort of see why, because the beat is like constantly changing. There's that weird vocal sample, the weird, I think it's a piano.
When
some comes in and out at random points.
Yeah. What did you think of that kind of lonely saxophone at the beginning? Just kind of crying out and it's cut short by the synthetic trap beat.
It.
I loved it too. One thing I really love is how so the Twigs is vulnerable yet empowered at the same time, and it happens a couple times on the project.
More empowered, I'd say. This is probably the most empowered she is.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But it's when she's saying like she refers to herself, her sexuality as like once my fruits are for the taking, you flow through my veins. Like she's very open about that. And there's a line, I'm blue when the moon hits my skin, right? Hot pink when you open up my sweet thighs. Like it's very empowered. And I mean, I just think it's very funny how on this feminist song we have Future as a contribution, and
the
I
king
mean,
of feminism in the trap
yeah,
genre.
yeah, king of feminism in the trap genre.
Definitely never made a song about adding women to his collection.
No, definitely never said that. I saw a quote today of Future where he said like there was one like if she wants to cry in a Nissan or a Phantom, and she said the Phantom, and then like I don't trust a girl
Yeah, I
bigger
saw that.
than me.
I can get behind that 100%. But yeah, sort of her verses were very lyrical topics, switch up from the previous tracks, and that this one was seeking a partner rather than missing one. And then Future sort of plays that role, but he sounds very heartbroken and emotional and sort of, I don't know what the word is.
I was intrigued as to what his contribution would be, what it would feel like.
And I think this is the first ever feature she's got on a song.
Wow.
Something that I've heard.
That's pretty cool. What I'm happy about though is that it doesn't feel out of place. I think it makes sense to put someone like him on the most fun track of an otherwise very somber in some ways, just a very emotionally like taut album, you know.
And I thought he sort of fitted the vibe of the album, but maybe the song on the whole is a bit more bouncy and everything else here, and so it does stick out a little bit.
I think it provides a much needed moment of levity, and it really,
I suppose,
it kind of re-energizes you, brings up the pace. And if it were just these kind of slower tempo, like very emotional tracks, and didn't have this kind of break, there's another track for the well, there's moments of this kind of levity throughout it. It's that. You know, so I think good, but it does sound somehow out. It's the only track with a trap thing. You know.
Whoa, Kenny.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? This needed Freddie Gibbs. Okay.
Future.
Yeah.
So what we really need on this emotional album is a couple verses about selling drugs.
Yeah, I think we do. We need some verses from Freddie Gibbs talking about how he definitely didn't sell cocaine, officer.
Particular incident. Yes, but then we got the sort of title track.
Yes, Mary Magdalene, named after the famous French cake and someone called Mary. I don't know what the significance is.
That's a Madeleine.
Ah, for God's sake! Okay.
That was terrible. God,
yeah.
Jesus.
I'm not gonna do that again. Okay.
The Bible character, the much maligned Mary Magdalene, comparing herself to.
That was some lovely alliteration, Tom.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's another sort of, apart from sort of the chorus, there's not a lot of instrumentation going on here yet again.
No.
The hook really explodes. Like, her voice is amazing on here again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's describing herself as a Mary Magdalene character. Now, I can't say I've read the entirety of the Bible just yet.
How far are you? When did you start? Jesus is the King.
Hey, the New Testament is nearly done. No, the Old Testament. I'm not not doing that good.
Okay.
But I believe Mary Magdalene was.
She was a prostitute, wasn't she? A Jezebel, isn't? I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's meant to be like a, or I don't know, something like that. And Jesus takes pity on her, or a love interest.
Shouldn't be with.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah. Did you?
And I think certainly in the end, wasn't she the last person he saw before he went to heaven? Because she says, "I can lift you up like Mary Magdalene." In this song.
Maybe it makes sense. I like that. Let's go with that. I
believe that's the truth.
Yeah, I like the fact that this is another kind of empowered track. Twigs isn't a victim to love and to heartbreak. It seems more of an observation of it. I'm a big fan of the motif of a woman's as the opening kind of words to whatever. It's the references to opening seem like a role reversal, especially given the lyric on Holy Terrain, like hot pink when you open up my sweet thighs, is obviously sexual in nature. Whereas in this way, the opening, so there is on one side the opening of a woman's legs, and then to the opening of a person, the opening of their heart, and it kind of brings them, like, the other person in the relationship down to that kind of level, and like it's somewhat like if there is a power dynamic in that sense, the opening of the man's heart kind of evens it out, I think, and it's a very interesting observation. It's really, like, I think it's gloriously abstract, and it's mature in itself, assured. I'm a big fan of the very obscure bridge towards the outro, and I feel like Twigs' voice kind of becomes another instrument in the mix. It has this very strange echoing metallic percussion on it as well, and it's great especially as the title track. Was it another single that was released? No, I don't think it was it? Tom?
Oh, I just stopped hearing you.
Oh, don't worry. So
she refers to herself as a creature of desire. And I think her voice is very operatic on this number.
Yeah. It wasn't the singles, was it?
Wait, what one? Sorry.
Mary Magdalene wasn't one of the.
No, the singles were. So first it was Cellophane, which we reviewed.
Yeah.
Then came Holy Terrain while we were in Bratislava. Then the not so good Home with You. And then the week before it came out, or the same week it came out, we had The Sad Day. And then that made me excited for this album again, because obviously that song's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of the few examples, I might as well say this now, where the singles really, the deeper cuts are the ones that saved the album, because the singles weren't really that, apart from Sad Day and Holy Terrain, they weren't the
and Cellophane
standout. Well, Cellophane's great, but if you heard that and I couldn't have done with 8 other songs that sounded like that. That would have been
no, yeah, that would have been too much. Yeah.
But hey, Fallen Angel, what a banger out of nowhere.
Fallen Alien.
Oh, sorry. I keep thinking it should be Angel for some reason.
It's because of Mary Magdalene, I think, and all this that religious.
Yeah, you're right. Aliens though, aliens are cooler.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. It feels
bangs.
Yeah, it does bang. It feels urgent, It reminds me. Oh, there's one thing. The chord progression reminds me of Radiohead, like a Radiohead track, big time. But hey, we're not going to talk about Radiohead. Okay. Yeah, Twigs is able to display her astounding again. That I love the I'm a fallen alien. I never thought you'd be the one to tie me down. And so she has like a palpable venom in her delivery of the verses as well, I feel. And the pace doesn't let up either. It really amps up the project. And as you said,
delivery is so energetic.
Yeah. Especially considering like how it's very fragile and frail on a lot of the other tracks. It's a nice balance.
This is like the song to like Slasher X's ties to. When you're asleep, I'll kick you down. Damn. That's ruthless. And don't tell me what you want because I know you lie. It's like, right. That's the thesis.
What would you do if an ex of yours slashed your tires?
slash theirs.
Okay, fire with fire. Okay.
It's the only thing to do. Get. What do you want me to say? Get new tires?
I don't know. I was just intrigued. That's all.
This one really made me bob my head, especially the last bit.
Yeah. What do you think of Mirrored Heart?
It was a nice little song. It was
Yeah.
one of the shorter ones.
It does not feel like it, though, in my opinion. It feels like a 4-minute long track.
Or maybe it wasn't. I'm thinking of the wrong one. It's sort of not. It's sort of taking herself, like maybe I don't know, wandering the street and seeing couples everywhere.
Yes, precisely.
Jealous, and sort of feeling a bit of admiration as well. It's not like a bad jealousy. It's just like, I wish I had that. It's not like a.
I think it's
I
genuinely
resent them for having it.
Yeah. I think it begins with this
man.
Twig's vocals like a deep breath in and out to kind of like pull us all together. It's such a sad and beautiful chorus. It's balanced really well, arranged, the richness of the mix, the depth of the subject matter. It's the kind of like a retrospective on a relationship, and then kind of being happy for other people who have found their mirrored heart. But then again, I mean the chorus, like they just remind me I'm without you, which I don't know. One could be happy for other people, but it does pain oneself as well to see that happiness in others when one has lost it.
I thought it was good imagery.
Yeah, definitely. Mirrored Heart in itself is just, it's really nice.
Is that an original idea? I'm not sure, but I'd never heard of it before.
I'm not sure either. I swear I've heard it before, but I mean, regardless, is pretty beautiful. But okay, the next two tracks, I feel like Daybed is the closer, and Cellophane again feels like an epilogue. Would you agree with that?
Why is that? I do not. I think Cellophane's a perfect closer.
I think okay. I think Cellophane also works as a closer, but I think it's I don't know.
I just don't really like Daybed that much.
I don't mind it. I actually kind of like it. It's I mean the concept of a daybed as well. Like it's just it's very what's the word? It's very kind of like it's open and vulnerable. Like a daybed, it's the bed you're in during the day when you should be outside socializing with people, but you don't feel like it because you feel like crap. So you're in your bed, in your.
And
daybed.
I think this was also a reference to her cancer treatment as well.
Quite possibly.
I think the whole sound of the song, it's kind of vacant in a way.
Definitely.
And it sort of tries to drag you to her feeling the same way that she does with the sort of like such a space between each of the lines. And I think the mix is quite suffocating as well, especially towards the end of the song. It's kind of crazy.
Word for it. I think it's great. It kind of sounds, as you said, vacant. Like it sounds like it's underwater or in another room at the start, and it just has that like sense of loneliness and suffocation at the same time. As you said, it's great. I find that there is like a sense of redemption in it though. Some warmth in the cold, like a light of the sun in the room. It's
I think that's the vibe of most of the songs. To be fair, they're quite sad, but they're not. You can still dance to them, I suppose. Apart from this one, although her voice sounds a bit triumphant in a way at the end.
I love how she structures her verses. Like, careful are my footsteps, possessive is my daybed, 20 is my vision, only when I listen. It feels very mature, and I love how it
builds.
A
bar right there.
I love how it builds with this driving bass line coming into the halfway point, the synth and the almost chorus kind of all the voices becoming more present. It feels almost as though it has a kind of pseudo-religious quality to it, with this ambient orchestral kind of side to it as it builds near the end. And
it does sound a bit like an organ, doesn't it?
yeah, I just think it's one of the like more breathtaking moments on this project.
And as someone who's currently in their bed during the day, I can feel the vibe.
I mean, if I was gonna nap, I'd be in my bed during the day, but I literally do not have enough time. Okay.
No one asked about your schedule.
Yeah, you're right.
And we've already done cellophane.
But I want to talk about it again.
Well, it's up for the Grammys, which we could well do next week. The nominations, because
I mean, it's
it's
great.
up for Video of the Year.
Which
There are 2 categories for some reason.
Okay.
And by the by,
I think
didn't I do it for you? I think that's a message to not only the lover, but maybe the listener as well, as it's the last song. You're going to give me a nice review. Did I do it for you?
Yeah, it's all about that sacrifice for the other person, and I guess when it's not reciprocated, it's a pretty like tragic song. It's the most poignant song on the project. Having heard it multiple times now, it doesn't lose its power. It's so fragile, yet Twigs' vocals are the strongest. You know, in some ways, I think they get stronger over the album and more present. I love the chorus of the electronic voices which back up. It kind of feels like beautiful and disturbing and almost ethereal. It's like spectacular. It's riveting. It's emotional. It's charged, and it is great.
And that's why it should be the closer, because it opens with an epic vocals and sort of barely instrumental and Thousand Eyes, and it goes out the same way. And that, to me at least, makes some sense.
Now, what are you gonna give it?
Right, well, does this album have some of her best songs? Unquestionably. Does it also have her worst ever song? Yes. Yes, it does. But even on that song, I found a thing that I liked. And I think that says a lot.
Wait, sorry?
But even on that song, it still had something that I liked. And I think that says a lot.
So what are you rating it?
I think my main issue with this album is it doesn't really have any flow. Like, apart from probably 1,000 Eyes, they could be in any order, and I don't think it would really matter.
I disagree. I feel that although they're not directly flowing from one to the other, the kind of the atmosphere does change and it does work with the order. Although then again, I did say like
even the 2 upbeat songs aren't next to each other. It doesn't really make any sense to me.
Yeah. I was originally like gravitating towards a 9 off the bat after the 3rd listen, but I haven't listened to it since, really.
I listened to it today because I like it a lot.
I like it a lot, but
and it is a 9 for me, to be honest. I got my you know, that replay thing that Apple Music have been doing. Everyone's been screenshotting and sharing theirs. Just with this album cycle, she appeared on there. I can't remember the last time I listened to LP1 before I thought that this album was coming out. Although the EP, what's the EP called? That's a definite recommend.
Okay.
The latest one, whatever it was called. Keep talking, I'll find it.
Don't worry. Yeah, I think I'll stay strong with the 9. Like I was thinking of going down to an 8, but no, it's just
the only reason it'd be worth a downgrade is because of how disturbing the artwork is.
I love the artwork. I love it so much.
I didn't mind it.
Cursed PS1 game.
I didn't mind it until I saw the full body that she put on her Instagram. That was just made it weird for me.
I'm gonna have to look at that. Okay.
It's M3LL155X.
Thank you, FK Twigs, for naming it something incomprehensible. When you want to find an album, you wanna have to like look it up. You don't want to have to just like know the name because it's got a well crafted name, do you? No. Okay. Right, let's go on to the single. The single.
Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. It's got a proper driving bass line. The rhythm, the spoken word delivery reminds me of okay, I'm gonna be honest. I got like a tiny bit of a vibe of like park life, a tiny bit. Just
I
the
can see
spoken
that.
word.
For me, it sounds more like the streets.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I love how it gets like, kind of more distorted on the chorus along with the vocals. Lyrics are cheeky. I love hearing a London accent. It's charming production, and the
It's from
reverb on
Northampton, not London.
Okay, well,
Our buddy Slow Time.
well,
Did we announce him?
I love the accent, and I love the reverb on when he says "frick off." Sort of reminds me of Gorillaz in a way, with how bouncy and fun it is. It is 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Oh,
I love the verses, just how real life they all are.
yeah.
When he's trying to haggle down the price of a pint, I thought that was quality content. And I love when I think it's Real Massa because he's the producer of the song, but I think he's the other male voice. And I liked when he was duetting with him on the last chorus. But it was just an interesting idea of people not being happy for you.
Yeah.
And you not caring.
Yeah. Deal with it. Okay. That rounds us up. Been joined here by Tom, and deal with it.